Okay, guys. So Candace Owens just sent shockwaves across the internet after revealing she's skipping Charlie Kirk's burial, even though she's literally on the board of Turning Point USA. Her official reason? She claims the burial was organized by the feds as part of a bigger plan to sabotage the investigation into Charlie's shooting. But word on the street says this might not be the whole story. According to insiders, Dave Chappelle is claiming Candace and Erica Kirk allegedly had a major falling out over who would take the CEO seat at Turning Point America after Charlie's death. Erica reportedly got a unanimous vote, and that's when things got really ugly between them. Dave even alleges that Erica not only blocked Candace from attending the funeral, but is also plotting to kick her off the board entirely. What's really going down behind closed doors at Turning Point America? Did Erica actually shut Candace out of the funeral plans? Stick with us, because we're breaking it all down. In case you missed it, Candace has been publicly calling out the feds these past few days, accusing them of pushing misinformation to cover up who really took out Charlie Kirk. Hours after the shooting, the feds released these grainy, low-quality photos of a so-called person of interest, who later turned out to be Tyler Robinson, and even some ring cam footage claiming he was the guy on the roof pulling the trigger. But the internet wasn't buying it. People started dragging the feds for what looked like a sloppy attempt to pin the entire thing on Tyler. That's when Candace finally broke her silence, saying Charlie's death wasn't random at all, but an execution carried out by a foreign intelligence agency, a public warning meant to send a message. And she didn't stop there. She accused the feds of deliberately sabotaging the investigation because, according to her, they already know who's behind it, but are covering it up to avoid the backlash of admitting foreign agents were involved. She even pointed out that Utah Valley University reportedly has over 1,200 to 1,800 CCTV cameras, but when the feds released their evidence, all the public got were a handful of blurry, ring cam-style gray shots. Candace called the whole thing embarrassing, and honestly, the internet seems to agree.
A ton of cameras on this campus. There is a lot of footage that they could release to make the public feel better about this. I mean, tons of different angles. I don't know why we're getting grainy shots at all. There have been tons of people online going through the tech stack of UVU campus and saying, like, hey, why are we getting grainy images? Why don't you give us clear images? In fact, you guys could show us an image here, 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 here. They're not doing that. They're just going with this, like, grainy image and saying that's it, and you can get this grainy image, but we can't tell you much more. Now, again, it's an open investigation.
Then eyewitnesses who were actually on the scene when Charlie was shot began sharing their own footage, and one clip in particular went viral. It showed a man casually removing the storage device from the very camera positioned right behind Charlie moments after the shooting. And as soon as that video hit the internet, people completely lost it.
Safety team is here. I just heard them say the active shooter, Charlie Kirk, has been shot. Charlie Kirk got hit, is what the security detail just said.
Rumors immediately started swirling that the guy was part of the hit, planted there to wipe out evidence before anyone could piece things together. But before the conspiracy completely ran wild, Candace stepped in with her own explanation. She claimed the so-called mystery man wasn't some shadowy figure at all. He was actually Turning Point America's tech guy, the one who handles video and audio at every event. So when Charlie was shot, he wasn't destroying evidence, he was securing it, pulling the SD card to make sure the footage was preserved for investigators. Candace even said she personally reached out to him and asked to see what was on that card. And here's the wild part. She promised not to leak it, explaining she didn't want to put Erica, Charlie's kids, or his family through even more pain while the feds were still investigating. But according to Candace, what she saw raised way more questions. She claims Charlie didn't even have an exit wound, which completely blows apart the federal narrative about searching the scene for a missing bullet.
The thing that really stood out to me, and I just kept asking him to replay it over and over and over again, is that there's no blood. There's no blood from the back. There is no blood. So I think a lot of people were wondering whether or not that bullet pierced and went out to the back. I think I vaguely even remember, and Skylar, you can maybe live look this up, But like, I thought the feds were saying they were looking for a bullet at some point, which is now very alarming to me. I don't understand that. How could they have been looking for a bullet? Because if I'm not seeing, and there isn't, I'm telling you, what happens in the front is not what happens in the back at all. If I'm not seeing any blood, what are we to take from that?
Just when it seemed like this story couldn't possibly get any crazier, Candace went and dropped another bomb that had everybody doing a double take. She announced she won't be showing up to Charlie's funeral at all. Instead, she's flying out to link up with Kanye West and chill while vibing to his music. According to Candace,
I said there is no way we are going to this event now. There's a 0% chance. First and foremost, why are you saying invite? Anybody can go to it. You just buy a ticket to the event, and you're all working to try to get me to confirm that I'm going. And you're doing this as if you're trying to like push my buttons and be like, we got to make her get into her ego so she like shows up and like posts it on social media. Nope, actually, while I'm attacking the feds, maybe not going to a public event, which the feds are organizing, is probably a very good idea. I'm good. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna listen to Power on my headphones and go see Ye. How's that for a memorial for Charlie Kirk? That feels like the right thing for me to do right.
The reason Candace says she's skipping the service is because, according to her, the feds were the ones who organized it. And that revelation caught a lot of people off guard. Not only was she known to be close to Charlie, but she's also a board member of Turning Point America. So most people assumed this would be her moment to show up and say goodbye alongside his friends and supporters. Instead, everyone's left scratching their heads, wondering what's really going on behind the scenes. But now, whispers are surfacing that Candace may not have been completely honest about her reason for bowing out. Insiders are saying Dave Chappelle dropped the real bombshell, claiming Charlie's widow, Erica, flat out told Candace she wasn't welcome at the funeral or anywhere near the family. According to Dave, the friction started over the fight for leadership at Turning Point America. Candace reportedly believed she deserved the CEO position. She's popular, she's debated alongside Charlie on big stages, and she already had a seat on the board. Some insiders were leaning her way, but then donors and several politicians allegedly stepped in and threw all their weight behind Erica. In the end, Erica was unanimously announced as the new CEO, and that decision sparked major tension. Erica, sources say, wasn't happy about Candace even gunning for the spot, insisting she was the one who should carry on Charlie's legacy. Things soured quickly, and it all came to a breaking point when Erica told Candace not to come to the funeral, not to be near her kids, and not to insert herself into the family's grief. She reportedly felt Candace never really cared about Charlie on a personal level, just what he represented. That's when, according to Dave, Candace allegedly spun the story publicly, saying her absence was because the feds had staged the funeral. Once word of this got out, fans immediately started debating. Some sided with Erica, saying as a grieving widow she has every right to decide who's allowed in her space. Others defended Candace, arguing that grief looks different for everyone and that people shouldn't be policing whether she attends or not. One fan even commented, "How does going to a memorial define a friendship? Let people grieve how they want." So now the big question is, do you think Erica was justified in blocking Candace from attending Charlie's funeral? Or should she have allowed her the chance to pay her last respects? Drop your thoughts below, and then check out the next video for more.